All right, so welcome to the book creation module. So we've done the research, we've thoroughly dealt with research. By now I expect that you know different methods to research books to create, all right, and it's not just mediocre books. It's there are books that has higher probability of getting you sales. Okay, so that's why we took our time to explain that in depth. All right, so what is book creation? Book creation is the steps of creating your book interior and your book cover. Okay, so remember we are publishing paperbacks and hardcover, but I actually publish paperbacks alone. Okay, for low content I publish paperback alone. Eventually I might add hardcover to it, and once I add hardcover to it, I will definitely share how I do it with you. Okay, so book interior. So there are two parts when it comes to the book creation, right? Your interior and your cover. Okay, those are the two things you're going to be creating. So once research is done, you have a keyword, then the next thing to do is to create the book itself. Now, like I said, you don't require, it's not required, you are not required to be writing and writing and writing, because this is low content to zero content books. All right, so tools for book creation, interior creation, we use the PowerPoint or Canva and the assisted methods. Okay, like I told you, I'll give you a free method and I'll give you the paid method. If you don't want to spend extra money, you use the free method. If you are willing to take it as a business and start getting results ASAP, or and also reduce the time you spend on doing all these things and make yourself more efficient, make yourself faster at producing good books, then you might want to use the assisted method, which is using paid tools online. All right. And we're going to start with book interior. So, book interior creation, your keyword dictates what you want to create. So, people ask, okay, how do I create? Well, it has to be decided by the keyword you are creating the book on. So, for example, if I'm creating a book on one of the keywords we find earlier, maybe it's a composition notebook, then that's straightforward, because I'm just going to create the interior straight up, because there's nothing inside the composition notebook than just lines. Okay, so model. So now, if you are creating books that are just more than composition and composition notebooks or notebooks, how do you now create the interior? It's simple. So if I'm creating a prayer journal, I will just model the prayer journal that is working. Then while reading the comments, okay, I will definitely see things people want, the improvements people wanted, or the things people felt like was missing in the book. So I'm going to write that down. Okay, so whatever book you are creating that is not just a simple interior, all you need to do is go to Amazon, go back to Amazon. Okay, so let's go back to Amazon and use that example we had before, which is a prayer journal, right? Let me see, prayer journal for women, prayer journal for women. This book are so silly, it has so silly. I'm sure I showed it with you, showed it to you on the okay, this book, see, you can see it's still a bestseller, it's still selling like hotcake. Okay, it's even being sponsored, so it's on, they are running adverts to it. Okay, so let's just use the interior to create, to have an idea of what we want to create, right? To have an idea of what we want to create, let's use the interior of this book. You see, this is a very lazy job. Now look at this. This is a very, very lazy job. You can't buy this while you are seeing this or this. Okay, this is actually an independent, this is not an independent published book. This is a spiral band. That means, and you can see that it has metal at the edge. So definitely this is a private company. But you can see this guy is running adverts to this kind of book, and it's not getting sales. Why? Because it's a shabby job. All right, it's a shabby job. So the even when you finish creating your book, you realize, you know yourself that, oh, this is not a good job, or it's not good enough. All right, it's not good enough. That's just it. Nobody needs to tell you. Sometimes nobody needs to tell you that, okay, this is your cover, or this book you have created does not have a chance of selling. But people want to lie to themselves and create shabby job and expect that miracles will happen. Okay, so if I see this one and see this one, I'll go for this one that is beautiful. Or if I see this one or this one, I'll go for this one that is more beautiful than this one that just looks like somebody copied an image somewhere and dumped it on Amazon. Okay, so try and, when we are creating covers, you create it as, you give yourself a chance to sell. Okay, all these covers that you are seeing here, these are people that actually created this. So you have to also step up your game to be able to compete in the market. All right. So whenever whatever keyword you find you find or discover, and whatever interior is demanded or the cover that is demanded, you have to step up so that you can compete in those markets. So it's not just about I found the keyword, let me just do a shabby job, rush and go. No, you have to do a good job so that you can convince people that it's worth their money. Okay, so uh okay, now look at something I just came across. One of the guys that I paid to research for me sent me this title, this manifestation journal for Black women. So for me now, I can adapt this and say prayer journal for Black women. Okay, it's going to make definitely be better. Maybe I'll get some sales from there, or maybe manifestation journal, prayer journals for Spanish women or Italian women. Okay, that's we creating, thinking outside the box and creating something that we are not even seeing yet. And the good thing about this thing is this: once you create an interior, all you need to do is do a little bit of adjustment, and you can keep using the same interior for different books. Okay, but I'm not saying you should now bombard, right, create one interior and publish different covers for like 500 books. No, one interior, when you even just changing the font is enough to make it unique. Okay, not to make it unique. Okay, so this is the interior. The journal belongs to the name there. So we know that we need to create this part for ourselves, obviously in a different way. Uh, prayer journals for women, 52. Yeah. Oh, we can't see anything in the interior. So let's go back. But if I want to check the interiors and have an idea of what they have, we can always check this part. Okay, these are videos from people that have bought that have bought the product. Okay, you can always check, and while you are doing that, you are jotting down so that you have an idea of what you want to create. Okay, that's how I do it. I'll start jotting down. So let's look at this now. You can see there's a lot of, okay, look at this person
Good
said,
morning. I know there are some in this group that were asking about a activity book for like Bible study, like
so
inside, just
now
in
look
case
at
you want
this
to buy
now.
it.
So this guy,
And
this
so,
woman just said activity or Bible study. That's a keyword already for me. Okay, so I just pay attention to things that I'm seeing, and I can quickly use the method to make some money. Okay.
so
Okay. So
it
let's
has a
see.
little note here from the author, and then it has a little table of contents, and then here is another nice note from the author. And then it kind of describes to you what's in the book. There's scripture, reflection, and then journaling, and then answered prayer time. And it explains to you how to use it, what are the different areas, and how to journal, and how to document your prayers and everything. And so I've already done the first one. There goes the scripture that I'm reflecting on. There's a prompt that gives you what you need to write about, to reflect on. And then
So you can see this actually gave me an idea of what to create. So I'm just going to be jotting them down. Then start thinking of how to create the interior. I'm just going to model what they have here to definitely, and make sure that I do a better job at what they've done. Okay, so now for me to now create a better interior, like I said, you go to the reviews, go to the reviews and see, like this one star. Let's check what the person said is wrong. Let's check what the person said is wrong with the book so that we can improve on that in our own book. That's just why we're doing that. We want to improve, we want to make a better interior. Okay, so and the thing is, you don't have to, okay, you don't have to use one what I say, you don't have to use just one book to create your own better interior. You can use different books, combine ideas from different books, and combine what they are doing and what they've not done, resolve it in your own book, then take it, knock it out of the park. Okay, so now for me, when I'm also creating my interior, I always want to see the size that people are creating. So this dimension is 8 by 0.53 by 10. So this is actually, I think this should be a custom dimension, because I've not seen this before, but I've seen 8.5 by 11. So instead of creating this unit, I might just create my own 8.5 by 11. All right. So let's go to this to the review. Let's check on the 1 star. So he said, beautiful devotional. Okay, absolutely love this journal. I'm so sad that after working on the third entry, that the first 7 pages came out of the book, and when I flipped through of the book, there were pages lifting from the binding. So this is not. I don't think this is the problem of Amazon. Probably, I think this is the problem of Amazon, not the problem of the creator. The picture is so misleading. The journal came faded, like they had made copies of the original, and then it was like folded in half. Ugh, honestly, so bummed. I think these are printing problem, very cheap looking. So these are printing problem. I don't think. Okay, let's see if it was actually done by Amazon. Let's see if it was actually done by Amazon. Okay, well, it's actually not done by Amazon, but I don't think I'm not sure if it's Amazon that is printing it, or if it's not Amazon. So that, I don't think there's anything they can do about it. So what I'll just do is go to another book. This is another book. I'll look at the complaints there, the bad reviews, then I'll note them down so that I can work on them in my own book. So that's just what I'm going to do. Okay. So let's go back to so just I've treated this so you understand why I said model interior working interiors. Use the knowledge from the basis you've learned to create whatever interiors you want to create. So like I'm going to tell you, I will explain, I'll break down interior designing for you in a bit, but basically everything that you want to create can be created using the knowledge, the basic knowledge you have, which is what we'll get into in a bit. Okay, so develop your swipe, which you can remodel for other books. So while you are creating these interiors, just we have a folder that you are dropping it so that you can recreate it when you have an idea, when you come across an idea that you think you can work on. Just recreate it, then use it for another idea. Okay, so things you need to get conversant with. So the dimension is the size, which is the length and breadth. Okay, so this is the dimension. This is the dimension. This is by this width by length. That's the dimension. So there are different dimensions. Like 6 by 9. There's 8.5 by 11. Let me check. Let me show you. Amazon paperback cover dimensions. Okay, so let's go back to all, then go to yeah. All right, so you see they have a table. They have a table of their dimension. They have a table. I don't. Oh, it's not here. It's not here. It's not here. Let's go back. Ah, supported setting. I'm trying to look for they have a list, all right? They have a list of dimensions that you can use, that they already provided. I'm just not seeing it here. Okay. Okay, so this is, I think this is the link I was looking for. What's going on? With I don't know. Okay, so this is the trim size. Okay, this is the dimension. You can see 5 by 8. You can use that black ink and white paper, 24 pages to 88 to 8. So that's the dimensions. These are the dimensions. You can see this is the 5.8 8.5 by 11 that I spoke about earlier. So I've done okay. Oh, imagine they even have the 8.8 by 10. I've never done that before, but I've done a lot of 8.5 by 11. So these are the dimensions you can create, and we'll get to that when we're creating. I'll show you how to do all that, so that we can understand what all these things mean. Okay, so let's go back. So then the margins simply means the space within the book so that it doesn't get cut off. Okay, so you see when you're printing a book, this side, this side, this side, the space between the end of the book and where the text gets to, and the inside part, those are the margins, so that the space, so that they don't overlap and don't get cut off, or when they print the papers they don't get into the spine. That's what they mean by the margins. Okay, so then the bleed and no bleed. Now, this is the problem. A lot of people have had this issue. They don't understand what the bleed and no bleed is. So a bleed means that the content goes to the end of the book. So this is a bleed, and this one is no bleed. That means everything you're doing is inside a box in the book. That's what a no bleed means. And this bleed is, it bleeds outside. So it's just like, for me, this is what how I think it in my head. Like, okay, somebody's bleeding. When you're bleeding, you bleed on the floor, you bleed everywhere. There's no limitation to the bleeding. Okay. So for me, I just think about, okay, fine. Bleeding means the text or the picture is getting to the end of the book. Okay, and no bleed means there's a space around the content or the pictures you are using. Okay, so that's just basically what a bleed is. And when you are doing when you are creating your cover, you will definitely see how to create interiors, and you while you're creating your interiors and creating your covers, you will definitely need to know this bleed and no bleed. Okay, so that's for that. So okay, so that's for bleed and no bleed. So now, what I was saying earlier, that I said I was going to explain, every interior is made up of lines, shapes, text, and images. That's just everything that we have in an interior is made up of lines, shape, text, and images. Okay, like the one I showed you earlier. If you look inside it, you definitely see that all the examples we see are just lines, shapes. You see, let's click on that. So these are
The
text, and you're
pages are
seeing images
beautiful.
that are just
Every
placed.
section
Then
or every
text
topic
at
has
that's the text, that's a
the
prompt. Then
verse,
lines
a
for them to write
reflect
in. This is a journal,
page.
so this is a prompted
Here's
journal.
page
There's a
29.
training that you're going to get as an extra that explains how to design these exact types of book. Okay, you can see
Teach
teach
me
me
and
lines,
guide me.
text lines, text lines, text lines. So
Things on
once
my
you
heart.
understand how to design the book,
Highlights.
you know
Myron
that there's
Price.
no, it
This is
doesn't,
page
it's not hard for
31.
you to create. I can actually create
So,
this book now in a
page
jiffy. It won't
29.
take me much time to create, because I understand that everything is all about lines, shapes, text, and images. Okay, so that's basically what it is. There's no extra thing that I've seen in all the books I've been creating. It's just lines, shapes, and images and text. Okay, so now let's go to what are the things we need to create. We can use PowerPoint. There's a training course I got that detailed how to use PowerPoint to create interior, so you get that as part of the bonuses. Then the Canva, I'm going to actually show you how to use Canva myself, so that you see how I create this thing. So it's actually simple. Okay, if I log in into my system now, you're going to see an interior I created recently in my account. So now, if I want to create, right, if I want to create an interior, by now I expect that you have written down your dimension. Okay, you've seen the types of books that are selling, and you've seen the types of dimension they are creating. So let's say I'm creating 5 by, so if I'm creating a composition, let's do composition notebook. Okay, um flower, I can't remember what we did earlier. Let me see my research. So while we're doing research, we came across this sunflower vintage botanical illustration. So I'm just going to do the sunflower book. Okay, and we're just going to do sunflower book. So now, composition notebook. How do you create an interior for composition notebook? So let's say we've decided that we're doing 6 by 9. If it's a composition notebook, usually it's always around 6 by 9. I've always created a 6 by 9 because most of the books I've seen they're always 6 by 9. So you click on this create a design, then scroll all the way down and see this custom size. You change it to pixels. You change from pixels to inches. Okay, and you can see examples of the ones I've created. This you can see recent. So let's do 6 by 9. Then click create new design. So this is exactly what we are working with. Okay, this is our canvas. This is where we are painting, or this is where we are creating our book. Okay, so now this is 6 by 9. How do you create it? So what is a composition notebook? Okay, what is a composition notebook? Let's go here and search for a composition notebook so that you can see that all these things are not hard. Once you understand that, okay, let me put composition notebook college road. Oops. Okay, college road. I'm going to show you a shortcut to creating these types of interiors very soon, but I like to show you everything so you don't get stuck for any reason. There's no reason you get stuck. Composition notebook, college road. Okay, see that you see this now. This is Blue Ocean Beach composition notebook, large 6 by 9, college road, 11 pages. Okay, so like look at this now. Composition notebook, college road is not doing well, but I'm just using this as an example for you. Let's click on this, then click on the interior. Let's see what the guy has. Kill the notebook, that's the title, but there's nothing special about it. Okay, so let's see what this guy has in the interior. Okay, so it's not loading well. So you can see that there's nothing inside, just lines, just lines. So that's all the guy has in the book. Okay, let's go to another book. So you see it's the same person. This is a shabby job, and that's why it's not selling well. Just it's not, there's nothing to attract that much. It's just the same person that is doing. See, this is what you shouldn't do. Just dump books on Amazon expecting them to miraculously start selling. I don't think this will make so much money for this person. Actually, 4 million. They are actually selling probably one in a few months. In some months, they are not actually doing well. They are not doing. Okay, let's go to composition notebook. Okay, all right. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I'm under Kindle Store. I'm wondering, like, what's going on? It's not supposed to be this little. The search result is not supposed to be this small. Let's go to all and do competition notebook, college road. Now we're talking. Okay, 2000. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we are seeing a lot of books published by big names. Okay, let's open this. This is a Marble College notebook. All right, guys. So this is the Marble composition notebook. You can see the cover. It's specifying everything inside College Road, 100 pages, College Road 7.5 by 9.25. Okay, and this is what they mean by College Road. That is all. And you can see now for this book, this is a bleed. This is a bleed interior. You can see the lines are getting to the end. That's a bleed. If it's not getting to the end, that is a no bleed. So this is a bleed interior, right? This is a bleed interior. So we're going to try and create this in the next video so you can see how I go about creating it with Canva.